What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today, I just have a quick one for you. I didn't realize any positions today. Everything that I opened today, I continue to hold. And so in today's video, I just want to give you a quick update into a few trades that I opened today and trades that I continue to hold and continue to maintain into tomorrow and potentially even further than that. There's 3 setups that I opened today. They're all looking for more upside, and I want to break down the why behind the trades. Also, break down some of the things I'm slightly concerned about moving forward to see whether the trades can hold up. What am I looking for it to continue higher? But not only what am I looking for it to go higher, but what am I watching to see if I want to maintain, right? Because we can't only be thinking about what we want to see. We also have to understand what we could see that could break down the setup. And so I want to break down both of those things for the positions that I have on today. So it's a quick one. Just going to review some trades. You guys can see how these trades work out. I'll continue to update you guys on these positions throughout the week. So if you guys enjoyed today, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's jump right into the charts. All right, guys, so position 1, and I'll pop up every position on the screen for you guys to see, but position 1 that I opened today, and this is the largest position that I opened today. This was a meta swing trade for more upside. Now, the first thing that I'm looking at here on meta, and I'm always going to be, if I'm looking for a trade that could, be a swing trade, I want to start in some larger term time frames. So we're looking at the 4-hour chart here on meta. And so the first thing that I realized here on meta is what has meta done over the last few weeks as it continued higher. So the first thing I look at here is the structure of this move to the upside. Now, the first thing that I'm sort of noticing is, okay, we came off this low down here at 453. We've created some higher lows. Recently, over the last few weeks, this 480 level was a level that held very nicely. This was a previous rejection point that held here last week that created some upside. Now, after that 480 hold, you guys can see right here, this 480 level, we had a previous high that held very nicely. I want to go ahead and break this down just a little bit more detailed onto the hourly chart. So that's that 480 hold that I liked to see if this trend could continue higher. Now, since that 480 hold, which is right here, we have seen that sort of structure to the upside. We saw this high here turn into new lows last week on Friday. This is at 488. This 488 level was a previous rejection point, and you can see on Friday it turned into support, very similar to how that 480 was a previous rejection point that turned into support. So we have been seeing meta turn previous highs into new lows, sort of doing a break and retest structure to the upside. So what am I looking for here today and into end of week? Well, the next level that I can spot is this right here, right? We have this high at 495, we had this high at 488, and then we had this high at 480, right? These are our 3 highs, 1, 2, and 3. And every single time meta moved higher, it turned one of these highs into a new low, one of these highs into a new low. And so what I'm looking for is for the high from the Friday of, this is back on February 23rd. I'm looking for this high to turn into a new low around $495 per share. And today, I went ahead and I took some longs on meta as it pulled back to that level. So if I go ahead and break this down in the 30-minute chart, this is a little bit more detailed. We're just getting more detailed as we go along. This was a previous high around this 495. You could call it 495. You could also call it back down to around 493 or 494.50, right around that 494.50. So I got a little bit of a premature entry, but I saw meta come back down very aggressively today, and I saw it starting to hold very nicely around this 496 in that general area. We also have these lows here, which is around 497, which we'll have to break down a little bit more detailed to show you why that's a level. But in the grand scheme of things here, in the larger picture here, what I'm looking for meta to do is to consolidate, right, above this 495 area, try to turn this into a low, and then have that next push higher. Now, we'll have to see how this sets up. Maybe it's not to this week. Maybe it's next week that this sets up. But generally, on a larger term picture here, I just want to see meta maintain above this high. If meta maintains above this high, I believe that there could be a consolidation, some demand holding around that 494.50, 495, creating that next upside move. And what I want to do in this situation is try to enter longs when it's near that level. So when we saw the big downside this morning on Meta, I went ahead and I entered some longs to sort of start this position for that break and retest entry. Now, if we go back to the 4-hour chart, I do want to show you something, because at one point today, this position did look a lot better than what it does now, which is something I'm slightly concerned about. At one point today, we had a 4-hour candle that pushed back to the downside into this retest and really pushed back to the upside. And I'll show you what this looked like at the time. So I'm going to go into my swing trade section, and I'm going to show you what that 4-hour candle looked like at the time. So right here is what it looked like. You guys can see right here on your screen. I'm going to zoom in on this. This was the 4-hour candle on Meta, sort of intraday today. You guys saw we had that previous high, and we had a really strong 4-hour wick off that level, and I was pretty nicely up on this position at this time. This was a 4-hour break and retest off that 495 level. So I really liked how that looked, that first 4-hour candle of the day. But unfortunately, you guys can see the rest of the day was not as great, right? We gave back, some of that upside we saw early morning. We rejected this 505 supply above. So the position is still valid, right? I still like what I'm looking at here. I still like some of these lows that are holding around this 497, which is something I will be watching, right? But I would obviously have rather see Meta sort of maintain a little bit higher today. I'm a little bit concerned that it's just not going to be able to break that 505. But for now, with the longer-term idea, I will maintain until it breaks below that 494.50, that 4-hour retest, right? I want to stay in this trade as long as Meta is above this 4-hour high, and that is at 494.50. So that's what I'm doing for now. The level that I would like to see Meta try to maintain above in the short term is right here around this 501. So today, I wanted to see Meta try to close above that 501, but unfortunately, we did not do that. So I am sitting in a little bit of drawdown for now on Meta, but I did like the entry. I got an entry right around the low from this morning, around this 498 area, was up nicely, sort of midday. I wanted to continue it because I saw further upside on that larger term look, but unfortunately, you can see we did give back some of it today. So overall, I want to see Meta hold above this 497, hold above this 494.50. I will continue to look to see if this area acts as a long area for that next upside move. If Meta drops the 494.50, this is where I will take my loss on this position. So that's Meta, right? That's sort of what I'm looking at here. Break and retest on the 4-hour chart. Going to continue to monitor this position. Towards the end of today's video, I will break down the ES and the NQ and how I think those could affect this trade as well. The other trade that I opened today, which actually I am up very nicely on and took a little bit of profit on today, is Coinbase. And Coinbase is the exact same thing as Meta, give or take, right, in terms of the strategy. But obviously we can see that Coinbase just worked a little bit better today in the short term. So we can see Coinbase is just doing break and retest after break and retest. We have the previous highs on Coinbase here at 193, which we can see broke above, held above, consolidated, right, and created that next upside move. This is exactly what I'm looking for on Meta, right? We can see it's the exact same type of structure. Previous highs, new lows. We have a little bit of consolidation, which is fine, creating that next upside move. So today, what did I do on Coinbase? I saw Coinbase break above the previous highs and turn it into new lows. So I went ahead and I entered some Coinbase longs today. You guys can see if I go down to the 15-minute chart. Actually, you know what? I'll go down to the 5-minute. If we go to the 5-minute chart, we can see very clearly how strong that previous high on Coinbase turned into a demand low today, creating upside pressure. So a very nice move as of now on Coinbase, sitting up about 60% on this position right now. So in good profits, I continue to hold because I just don't see a reason to sell out yet, right? I see this nice break and retest on the 4-hour, nice 4-hour hold above that 213, nice upside continuation, took one of the 3 contracts off, so I will continue to maintain this, right? But as of now, this one's looking much better, nice pressure to the upside over that 213 today. Again, a break and retest long setup. All right, guys, so for the last trade that I opened today, this is some ARM upside, some ARM calls, and the reason I entered these today was I was looking to see if I could long off this 135 level that we have seen over the last few weeks. Now, I entered ARM a little premature. I entered a few calls here around that 140 level, and I'm not quite at a position that I'm sort of full size in yet, but I will potentially add to this over time. I want to see ARM try to maintain above this 135. Now, why do I want to see that? Well, we can see over the last few weeks, we have rejections all over this 135 area, which I believe, I know it's not that clean right here, but what I believe tried to hold as a new support over the last few trading days of last week. So you can see 135 previous rejections. We had a break above it. We came back down to it. And I believe as of now, it's attempting to consolidate above. So what I want to see here on ARM is a consolidation and a hold above 135. And as long as it does that, I want to see if I can take that next stair-stepping move to the upside. The one concern I have here on ARM is the very clear 150 supply. So you guys can see we had rejections 150, rejections 150, and today, again, rejections 150. So I'm a little bit concerned about that 150 level, right? This is why I'm not too heavy in this position yet, but I would not mind, in terms of risk-reward, starting a position down at this 135, seeing if I can long down here for another push towards that 150. We can also see ARM generally has been uptrending since this low, right? We can see right here, we've had this pretty clean sort of uptrending move on ARM, which is getting pretty tight here, right? And if ARM gets strong and its semiconductors stay strong and we get that push over 150, I believe there is opportunity to the upside here. And I believe the entry point that you're going to want to look at is around this 135. So right now, I'm trying to formulate a long entry near this 135 low, looking to see if this is a good long entry for that next push into 150 and potentially on a hold over 150, which would be really that move that I'm looking for that exponential upside. So each trade that we talked about today, there is a very clear level that has to hold and a level that I will stop out under. For ARM, I want to see it over 135. Under that, I will exit. For Coinbase, as of now, the level this morning was 213, but we've sort of pushed up. Really, at this point, it's just about taking profits. Coinbase, though, under 213 is no good. We want to see it stay above that. But at this point, I'm not going to allow it to fully pull back to 213, but that's definitely the level that you want to see it stay above for that retest level to hold. For Meta, you want to see it hold above this 490, 450, 495. Meta is the one that's under the most pressure that I am down on the most right now, but I just wanted to explain to you guys in today's video why I took these trades and what I'm looking for on these setups. 490, 450, 495 is a level that I would like to see try to maintain here on Meta over the next few trading days. I want to do a quick analysis here on the S&P 500 and sort of break down what I'm looking for here on the overall market to see if these swing trades are still valid, right? So for me, I am definitely monitoring this S&P 500, understanding what it's doing, and is my idea of looking for more upside still even a valid thing to look for on the overall market. So for me, as long as the S&P 500 is above this 5123, I want to continue to look for pullback longs, right? We have a very clear previous high from last week at 5123, and today we just really didn't get much action. We sort of consolidated, which is totally fine, right? But as long as we're above this 5123, I will continue to look for that long entry. So if we go down to the 5-minute chart and we go into Friday, we can see very clearly on Friday how 5123 on the ES created that upside move. So if we do retrace here on the ES, I want to see 5123 hold on. If we break below 5123 on the S&P 500 futures, I will be a little bit less confident on my 3 swing trades that I'm currently holding. I would want to see the S&P 500 hold that previous high as a new low, and if it does, then I would like to see that upside continuation. This is what the S&P 500 has been doing, right? We had this low come in, we had previous highs here, which turned into new lows, right? We had these previous highs here at 5108, which turned into new lows on Friday. And we have these highs here that I want to see turn into new lows here at 5123. So we've been structuring to the upside, which has been very nice, right? But now we need to see some new lows come in. I believe 5123 is the level that needs to hold for that long setup to remain in the market. Because if we are to drop back under this high from Friday of the February 23rd, if we are to drop back below that level, then I believe the ES can move lower, and it's going to not, the short-term longs are not going to work out as great because we're probably going to need some more extended downside towards around this 5108. So 5123 is the level I'm watching very closely to see if these long setups are still valid throughout the week. So, guys, that's what I wanted to give you today. Nothing major. I really didn't realize I didn't do anything today. I just opened a few positions, but I wanted to give you guys an update on these. Meta, Coin, and ARM. I'll sort of update you on how these go on through the rest of the week. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, press that like button, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.